For many voters, heading to the polls and knowing what races to follow is pretty easy after years of practice. But for younger voters, especially first-timers, it can be a lot to take in.
So what are they learning about in school right now? Alex Valverde spoke with a professor from EKU about the topics that are coming up for discussion in her class this semester, as well as what she hopes her students will take away from those lessons.
It's safe to say this election has stood out in Kentucky, from its key presidential and U.S. Senate races to major issues like COVID-19 and racial injustice. It's a lot to take in, especially for younger voters, who are also getting used to the voting process in general. That's one of the many things Dr. Ann Sismar, an associate professor at Eastern Kentucky University, teaches her students in classes like this semester's Race to the White House.
Some of those really basic voting materials, some basic background on how you would actually go about casting your ballot, what to expect on the ballot, not just looking at the presidential election, and reminding them that, yes, there are going to be multiple levels that you have to vote on, and that in some ways are more critical for their day-to-day lives, thinking about Kentucky politics, what goes on in the legislature.
And also a history lesson for those anxious about waiting for results in such a close election, and teaching that this has happened before, like in the 2000 election.
We've seen legal challenges before related to the elections, that we will get to the end of this process, but that we have a precedent not that long ago, really, for how we go through the process of ballot counting and settling disputes related to the ballots.
And with Election Day now behind us, Dr. Sismar says it's also important to look to the future, because the conversation doesn't end when a winner is declared.
So when the campaign ends, the real work of governing or attempting to govern through COVID-19, through the other challenges facing the United States and the world, begins. And so I think we'll also pivot to talking about where do we go from here as the dust settles. What are the next steps for the government? What is it that we can expect to happen in the next 2 or 4 years going forward?
Dr. Sismar says she also talks to her students about managing tense relationships over political differences and knowing where to find fact-checked information about issues, just helping a new generation of voters. In Madison County, Alex Valverde, LEX 18 News.